Let's start with your head. If you just close your eyes and lie down or sit somewhere comfortable, notice how the skin on the top of your feet.
Gentlemen in the mix.
Your mouth, nose, jaw, ears. Top of your back, your arms, top of your arms.
Hey, traders. Welcome to the Wednesday stream, hump day, relief day, where it seemed like it wasn't. There was no relief. Or if you, I don't know, you were probably sleeping, but I was live at like 4 a.m. while Bitcoin was hitting its nadir. Bitcoin, Ethereum, altcoins, they were crashing. Bitcoin hit a low of 20K. On Coinbase, it didn't, in fact, hit that previous cycle top, but it looks like it's very close, very, very close on the Binance chart. But did we? Actually, we didn't. We were so close, right? How close was Bitcoin at its low from testing that high? You were about $270 away. And Jerome Powell spoke, raised 75 basis points, first time that aggressive on rate increases since 1990. And the market responded volatile, right? It was a volatile response, but in the end, the bulls took over, at least for the day, and at least since he spoke, where I'm talking like Bitcoin was at like $20,300-ish or so. And ever since he spoke, Bitcoin has just recently hit its highs of the day, $22,750. You're about $250 off that high, but we are in power hour, so you know what happens in power hour, man. All kinds of crazy stuff. Lately, it's been daily, or my streams have been extending to marathons. I had back-to-back marathon streams, back-to-back days, right? It's just, and then crazy 4 a.m., 3 a.m. streams. You know, tis the season. That's what you'll get with stuff going on like this. So I did plot, you know, it's a new feature. It's the downtrend. It's a way for you to conceptualize Bitcoin's downtrend. I think it's fair. On top, there's a supply line. On the bottom, there's a demand line. If you were ever going to test oversold in this downtrend here, you're looking around 12,700. You are kind of below that heart line. Seems like it's been support, resistance, support before, and you just recently broke it on the 13th. Not really that, I mean, I'm not really that concerned about it. I'm more concerned about horizontal line supports, looking left, and that's where we are. We have not fallen below it yet, because you know what happens below that. Minimum 17,250, but really eventually 14K. And then, I mean, the strongest support, if we're talking about just historical support that's real, 10,000 is it. 10,000 is the strongest of all of them, okay? The other ones are just glorified support resistance. They're just levels, like where when you drop, I mean, isn't it perfect? Is it not TA being respected so wonderfully? If you just look, you know, let me just go to the other chart real quick, get that channel out of here. But if you just look left, you can understand. Straight up, straight down. And you've gone straight down and virtually touched it. Maybe not quite by a couple $100, 1%, 1.7%. But that's it. That's how the levels work. And if you respect the levels, you can understand downside potential. And we knew below 28.8, you don't want to own Bitcoin during that period, because it lost 30% of its value in less than a week. Well, at least Ethereum did. I mean, what did Bitcoin drop? I mean, once it broke that support for real, yeah, 31%. Lost 31% of its value in less than a week. That's insane. But that's exactly what's supposed to happen. So I would say you couldn't be surprised if you truly cared about technical analysis. So at any time when an asset, especially as large as Bitcoin or Ethereum, loses 30% of their value in less than a week, you could always see, and near inflection points, you could always see a relief rally. Something could happen like it did today, and you could go much higher than this. I mean, in actuality, looking left, what could stop, if it really was going to pivot and bottom out here for the short term, what would stop Bitcoin from going back up to 40 or to 30K or 28.8? Not much. Historically, in this level, it's thin order book. So you go straight down, you go straight up. Great example would be Binance Coin, right? What happened when it broke the support? It went straight down, but then it rallied straight back up to 330, regarded as resistance, and then went straight back down. So I'm just saying, it's just like a thing for you to think about, right? Like when there's no support resistance built looking left, you just can't be surprised if it did bottom out here, which I don't know, no one really knows. You know where it might be able to go based on historical price action. Anyway, so that's kind of the update today. The update on your Bitcoin. And if you were to pivot here, in actuality, it's real close, man. It's technically not going to be showing bullish divergence on the daily, but real close. You're oversold again for the second time. Right, you don't just go straight down to 14K or 10K. You consolidate for, we might spend 3 more weeks consolidating now, chat. Are you ready for that? Because the move just happened, right? I mean, when Bitcoin broke below and back tested that 40K area, it didn't take long for it to go to 30K. It only took 12 days to lose 25% of its value. But after that impulse, 3.5 weeks of bearish consolidation. and then collapsed again straight down. So at any point, you could begin to consolidate again. So you just can't be surprised about any of this stuff going on. It's all kind of like perfect.
Can you please check out Infamy Plaza? Thanks.
What's up, Melvin, man? Thanks for the 15. Thank you, dude. Yes, of course, we'll look at that. All right, so let's go to Ethereum. That was kind of a lot scarier. I mean, just as bad performance, but like looking left, man. It never got to that one little fruit fly support, the dead cat bounce, or one of them from 2018. It got to $1,014. Didn't even get to that 1,000 area, that psychological level. And has bounced. And tremendous volume. I mean, pretty heavy volume. The highest volume you've seen in a year. That's reality. Last time you saw this much volume, it did put in a short-term bottom. And things were volatile. Very volatile. So, yeah, just pointing out there's volume signatures here. A lot of price action. A lot of stuff going on. And there's no edge yet. Now, you could start developing classic bullish divergence at some point if it starts really rallying the next week or so. But it's going to take not one day, not just today, and Jerome Powell speaking that made everything Rudy poo. You know what happened last time he spoke? Does anyone remember what happened the last time Jerome Powell went up on the podium? There was a day almost identical to what happened today. And it was like a record day for retail purchases. I'll show it to you real quick before I forget, because like, dang, man, like this was the same thing that happened. It was right here. It was the date of May 4th, right? Or was it? I think it was May 4th. He spoke. And then the next day, Bamboozle destroyed. You know, lower high, you never came back. You know, people FOMO here, you haven't recovered. All right, so, and you didn't even get a day like that on the S&P. God, looking at it, I mean, we'll come back to it, but I just wanted to show you. Just remember, you can't get overly euphoric on a day of volatility like this, right? But yes, most of the damage is done, right? Bitcoin losing 30%, Ethereum losing 30%, most of crypto crypto asset class losing that much value that fast. You can't be surprised if you stop crashing for just a little bit. So we look at BNB. We did look at BNB, which it did. It's holding support, which is very interesting. A really nice looking candle here, and it could manifest in some very undeniable classic Class A bullish divergence. One attempt, no one knows. Second attempt, maybe they know. Maybe this is the bottom, because we know what's in store for BNB below 211. Death, dude. We're talking $40 below 211. But what if 211 holds for a second time? In actuality, it's one of your lowest risk areas ever that you could take a chance with a strategic stop loss, right? Just below 211 or something, right? Just below that level. And you know what happens historically if you hold to 11, you could go to 330. What? Yes, you could. And then you could start thinking about stuff, which I think we need more time, but this is reality right now. Until new data presents itself, you could just start visualizing wave structures, you know, big old W's and stuff. 886 taking to 430, and it still makes a lower high and then collapses again later in the year. I mean, right? It's always possible if 211 holds for a second time. And then you have the edge there too. It just can't be that easy for shorts. It can't be. So let's get a little more data, because you know what happens tomorrow, right? It starts crashing again, limit down, stock market. Oh my God, forget everything I'm saying. I'm just telling you where we're at. We're at this level now. That's real. Definitely at this level. See it? Yeah, this is a way more appropriate the way I had it than the way I had it. So you just look at it like this, okay? Perfect, dude. Could be the lowest risk area you could ever dream of for some sort of short-term rally here. Just say, if it holds. Nice. Okay. After BNB, I don't even know which one. We'll see. The next one after BNB, market cap wise, flip-flopping, dude. Chaos. It's still Cardano. That is up 10%. Wow. I think we had a discussion about this where it's like, yeah, man, I mean, if Bitcoin rallies any, these altcoins are so illiquid now, the moves up could be good. And here you go, right? I mean, sellers have really been trying, haven't they? A lot. And they haven't really been able to push this down to 38.8 cents. And you could thank Bitcoin macro for that. But really, if you're hitting like the same lows, I mean, are you showing like very real bullish divergence on Cardano? All of a sudden, like what? New data? That's all it takes, man. You are diverging on the oscillators on this asset as well as BNB, or BNB soonish maybe. You just need a couple more days to really see it, but you've been destroyed, right? Many assets have been destroyed. They've done exactly what they should do when they fall below key levels. They've gone straight down to the next key levels. So TA respected in that regard. But will more TA be respected when you go back, when you're at those levels for a second time or something and you start showing divergence? Will that TA be respected? Where you rally here, you somehow break a supply line? Because that was it, man. It's like you're overcooked now. Like that was, the whole thing was like, oh my God, look out, we're gonna collapse. And the collapse happened. And now it's like the collapse is over and we're starting to get new pieces of data here. Okay, so that's Cardano. You know, you can't, like, maybe it'll change tomorrow when we crash again or something, but for now, interesting, something to pay attention to. Divergence. Divergence happens. Divergence happening again, possibly. All right, cool story. Look at this, XRP. Old XRP. Well, guess what's happened? You hit that 32.5 cent area, you fell below it, but you're rallying back above it. And at the same time, man, undeniable, chat, this is a very real development right now until something changes. I'm just reporting to you what the chart's telling us today, not tomorrow. You see that. Can somebody tell me what this is in the chat? So I just make sure I'm not losing my mind here, okay? You tell me. You teach me.
Good to see you well rested after watching your stream live in the...
Kind of well rested, man. Kind of, dude. I didn't get enough sleep and like really like deep cleaned my car and ran errands and stuff. I am kind of dead still. Hey, we got some answers up in this chat, man. We got answers in the chat. Yes, you're right. It's Class A bullish divergence. Why is it Class A bullish divergence? Your strongest form of classic bullish divergence? Because you made the low, then you made the lower low, and you made the higher levels on the relative strength index. And I love, this is my favorite look. I don't like RSI bullish divergence in the neutral zone somewhere randomly. I like it when it's oversold. Doesn't it make more sense when it's oversold and it's like, let there be no doubt? Like, if it's neutral, that means there's more downside potential. But when you're oversold twice and diverging oversold, that's the best, man. So you just can't be, if we get some more follow through, which may not happen, I'm just saying, we're talking about an asset that did collapse. It attempted a rally and failed like a loser and then collapsed again and finally tested that level. And now you're starting to rally back above it. You're springing. You're attempting to spring here. And when you're attempting to spring, the divergence is becoming very apparent if we get just a few more days of the same stuff we're getting today, right now. Okay? That's real life. Hey, below 58 cents, you're probably going to 32 cents to 25 cents. You've done it. It's over. It did. It occurred. So now new things are happening and trying to present them to you right now today. June 15th. Thanks for the 933 people tuned in. Good to see y'all. The next asset would be Sol. Almost who cares about divergence anyway? It's up 16%. I can't even tell, dude. But yes, at the same time, though it has not hit its supports, it hasn't. It was close. Got to $25.50. Target's $21. it also is doing the same thing as XRP in its own right. That is happening until we roll over again. But for now, you are showing classic bullish divergence on the RSI, not on the MACD. Not really. It's just not there. But interesting. Daily. Daily could take you up to 48 bucks. If you so, even in a downtrend, divergence, it may not be that great. I mean, it may not take you very far to a higher high or something, but it can definitely usher in some sort of relief rally in a downtrend, a bear market rally. You could get that with that divergence. It happened almost unlimited times in 2018. I know 55% of y'all weren't here in 2018. 55% of y'all didn't show up to Bitcoin until 2021. But what we can do real quick is go back to 2018 so I can show you what happened to Bitcoin in its downtrend. How many times you were in a downtrend, you were not in a bull market anymore, the bubble popped, but you showed lots of bullish divergence. Eventually you crashed and you showed triple bullish divergence at the bottom here, back testing a candle low close from November 2017. And what happened? A nice, huge bear trap. You rallied, but then you tried once, you then tried twice, double top, bearish divergence, and you collapsed. But then at the bottom here, it was also a massive M shape with an 886, beautiful, almost like an alternate bat or just a bat itself. 886. Well, what happened? In a downtrend, you showed classic bullish divergence on the daily. What did that do? Ushered in an attempted rally. Of course, it only manifested into lower highs than previous highs. Okay. Doesn't mean you're just going to collapse and keep going down and nothing's going to happen, right? And even here, this was the craziest part of 2018. Some of you remember that you showed quintuple MACD bullish divergence, really, back in June of 2018. And then the inverse head and shoulders was textbook. It was unbelievably, it was beautiful, dude. And that rallied us all the way up to 8,500 from there. But again, you were in a bear trend, so it underperformed. It didn't really, you didn't even come close to threatening your previous highs. That's okay. So you see what I'm saying? Like, just because you're in a downtrend doesn't mean the classic bullish divergence developing on these altcoins can't play out a little bit. Some. I think it very well could. But it's going to turn into a lower high, but it doesn't mean it can't go up 27, 30%, eventually. Okay. Yeah, I stopped by, cameoed in Tom Crown's stream, and he gave me a wrench, and he told me I was inspiration to him being a streamer, and that kind of hit me right in the heart, and it felt really good. And yeah, man, that's awesome. I'm proud of him for following his own dream and doing his own thing. He hit a record concurrent viewership today. He was live during the Jerome Powell FOMC meeting, or minutes, right? He was there. He was live for it, and he had like 3,000 people watching, and that was really impressive. That's amazing, dude, to see where he's come. So shout out Tom Crown for doing good things. Let him know. Send a raven. Okay, so just wanted to dig in a little bit to what we're starting to see develop across this little altcoin market. Starting to notice something. Is Polkadot? It could be. It's a very homogenous market. Of course it is. Of course, it's doing the same thing, and this is beautiful. DOT is doing what, chat? DOT is hitting a level that we thought it was going to hit. If you don't hold 1040, you're a loser scrub. You're going to 668. What have you done? You've gone to 668, and at that level, you are now showing extreme amounts of classic bullish divergence on the RSI. So that's a pretty good combination. When you're at that, this is where you want to see divergence at supports from history, and after massive drawdowns, I guess, drawdowns. But this is it, man. This could, if this plays out, which we don't know, we probably need a little more follow through. It could just collapse tomorrow. I know that. I think this is really educational anyway. I mean, this could run to 1040 again, because look left, there's nothing really there until 1040 again. So do you get it? It's up 13% today. Very nice price action so far. See what I'm saying? Like, you gotta love it, man. Just, it's like one thing happens, and then you wait, and all of a sudden new data starts presenting itself, and we're starting to see something else, like possibly there could be a short-term relief rally here. Yeah, even the hoarder was there, dude. Crypto hoarder was there as well.
Too much bullishness in here. Too much fominess. Bitcoin will dump and alts will dive. Give it 3 days, bro.
God, man, that dude is now infamous. Infamous. Bare bottom, dude. We'll never forget it, man. He's just part of the memes. Thank you. All right, so DOT. Kind of maybe showing seller exhaustion at a very strategic area, at a very normal spot. Like, oh, duh. Of course, you finally hit support. Amazing. And you're rallying off of that. Cool. Second time. One time, no one knows. Second time, maybe everyone knows. Okay, Dogecoin, maybe the same thing because homogeneous market going to be homogeneous. Of course. Well, not even the RSI is terrible, but the MACD maybe. I don't really... I guess you're trying to hold on to this low, this one time ever, March. You're trying to hold on to that. It's just going to do what everything else does, man. It's not because Doge is special or anything. It's just, you could understand, though, that there could be, oh, this one has a little bit more turbulence, right? I mean, it's not straight up, straight down here. There's like 6 cents. You're going to test that. If you break that, though, 7.86 cents could be in store for a relief rally for a back test. This asset never successfully back tested that support when it broke it, right? June 10th, it broke it, but never back tested. So you could run for a back test to make a lower high off the divergence. The TH respected, but we understand that even that divergence being respected, it would just downtrend so lower high and you roll over again eventually in a week or two, right? So like a Tron that, of course, like everything else, 14% up. Well, it's kind of interesting, isn't it? We're talking about we wanted it to go. We want this thing to, this dude's a freaking scammer, man, sociopath scammer. But 4.9 cents, did it break? That was a very key level, an extremely critical support resistance from history, and it's actually a profit-taking level for a short. In fact, it was the second target of the trade setup. I know, I think eventually it'll make a lower high and it'll see 2.6 cents maybe in a few weeks or a month or two, right? But for now, you were saved by Bitcoin. It wasn't because Tron wasn't a scam. It's because it is beholden to this entire market. It does the same thing that the rest of the market does, right? So you could kind of understand why maybe if it was going to catch any price action that's catching today, it would have been at 4.9 cents. Look, a strategic short covering area. So when people cover their shorts, they are buying. So everyone covering their shorts at the key level, the strategic level where we know it could hold there and could rally, and that is why this was the second target of the trade setup, right? So you hit the second target of the trade setup and people cover their shorts, and that's it for now, and it could continue to rally, but you're thinking in the end it's going to make a lower high than these two highs and roll over again and test that level, and that support will get weaker and weaker and weaker. Demand will be absorbed, and eventually it'll break through and see that 2.6 cent area, but it might be 3 weeks to a month from now. Okay. It's all about the levels, man. It was strategic to take a short there. It was strategic to cover the short there because levels, dudes. Look at history. It tells us everything. It's great, man. Very educational. Tron was very educational for everyone in here. I know there are new people too, and I'm sure. I think that the Tron, that's real Tron University right there, chat. We just graduated from Tron University in like 5 days. Easiest class of our life, right? Okay. So Tron, and then I think that was kind of it for now. My God, this market's been obliterated. Let's go. You want to see something really interesting, chat?
I like turtles.
We're not going to give him a body bag today, okay? Incredible. Never got to 763 billion, but got to the 200-week moving average and reacted pretty massively so far, right? From the bottom, from the test to where you are now. We're talking about
What up, Mitch?
$108 billion.
Please.
What's up? What's up, Jamie, man? How you doing? The Jow. Yes, yes, sir. All right. Thank you, dude. So, $108 billion put back into the crypto market in less than a day, and bouncing just off the level that we know so well. This is why I always have my 200 moving average up, because look what happens, Larry. So look what it's just history is repeating itself, dude. Oh, we got to look at Bitcoin too. I forgot. Let's go to that weekly so you can see Bitcoin is above just barely by $100. So don't hold your breath yet. But look what market participants are trying to do to this asset. Bitcoin on the weekly right here. It's the 200 week. And you're just above it by $100. But that's okay. COVID crash. You fell way below it. My God. Let's say, you know, when you fell below it, you fell... My God, think about what Bitcoin did on the weekly back at the COVID crash. It fell below the 200-week moving average by 30%.
In the mix.
Okay. How much should it fall below the 200 moving average this time? 12%. So not as psycho. Half as crazy. But there you go, man. Just something happening. That's why you watch it. We're here every day, right? It's like it's just an ongoing thing. There's new data every day. So that's the occurrence right now. Ethereum, I don't know. Let's see. Ethereum is doing the exact same thing on that weekly 200 simple moving average. It's crazy, man. Like, now this one you were below it, you know. But I'm just saying, you are reacting at this area that's very interesting. Got to wonder what's going to happen here, you know. Hope everyone's having a good Wednesday, or a better Wednesday than last night, yesterday, the day before, the day before, the day before. Oh my God, what a week of insane price action. Markets were collapsing. Whew, a little relief. You can wipe the sweat off today. Thank God. Thanks for the 1,100 people here. And we're just getting through kind of a damage assessment. That, look, hey, finally, dude, it's not raining anymore on stream. It's not raining. There's no more lightning. God, it's only mostly cloudy right now. Jeez, dude, there was like flooding, man. Like, my contractor paying him a fortune because he's having to constantly come by, and there's flood damage all in this penthouse, dude, everywhere. You think this rain just goes away? It lands, man, floods. All right, just cloudy. So let's go to the S&P 500. Okay, start it with a weekly. The weekly not looking so good. I mean, yes, hey, cool, dude. I love that it rallied some today. The weekly 200 simple moving average, 3,500, probably going there. That is probably where you're going. Look what you did in 2018. You went there. You fell below it in 2020. Look what you did. I mean, in 2016, you pretty much went to it. You didn't touch it exactly, but look here, 2011. I mean, that is a key area that I think it would be very, very reasonable to think we're going there eventually. It's not going to happen overnight, man. Okay, but 3,500 eventually to test that, like Bitcoin, like Ethereum, like a lot of these alts we're doing, you know. So that's your weekly there. Doing damage assessment, going back to that daily. So you see a very, very nice downtrend here with 1 and 2 on the bottom, right? Dirt on the bottom. And then you were falling below it yesterday. I was watching it live. I pinged people. Oh my God, dude, if you break this, you're screwed. I mean, that's really bearish stuff. So this is what, if it isn't a downtrend like this is the downtrend that's being respected. You would consider the S&P 500 technically in the downtrend a little bit oversold. Somewhat oversold on the S&P right here. So you think about what could happen. I mean, if it does start pivoting, which, dude, again, it's just one day. You got to give it more days, all right? Everything I'm saying to you is if we catch a few more days of what we saw today or what we're seeing today. You got to you can't just start collapsing tomorrow. None of it matters. It was all Rudy Poo anyway. But if it started rallying and, you know, not really what I'm looking for on the offside. It's really not as good as like maybe seeing Ethereum or the altcoins. It doesn't look as good perfectly, you know, on the oscillators. So not really that impressed yet, but it is interesting. You are in no man's land, really. I mean, 3,700 is kind of real. I know there's a couple swing lows. Yeah, I get that, man. So you didn't collapse. You didn't capitulate through it. That's cool, dude. I think you're eventually going to 3,300, 3,400, or at least 3,500, right? I mean, where the 200 is. So that's it. Nice day. You were saved by Jerome Powell today in this extremely unreal illiquid market. Here's your Dow Jones. Same thing, kind of like at the bottom of the downtrend. You're kind of oversold in the downtrend. The oscillator's not really presenting anything quite yet. Too early. I don't think there was enough price action today. And I still think you're going to 29,564 minimum eventually. And then probably 27.4. But the real support is down in the 26s and 27s. That's where the real chop is. That's serious support down there. And between where you are now and that level, there's not too much. I mean, there's a couple peaks, and I get it. Yeah, a couple peaks, but get it. We're in a downtrend. You were up 1% today. Congratulations. It could be one low. It could be a second low where you're doing the same thing. You got similar stuff. It's the wave structures, right? Where it's an X, A, B, C, D stuff. Like it could be a C to D wave coming. And it could take you all the way up to overbought in the downtrend again, and everyone would be in disbelief. All the FOMO shorters would be ruined. Their life would be over. But yeah, so just paying attention to these markets, you know. So what we do, man, that's why you're here. It's just like, hey, man, you're working all day, you're doing stuff, and look at this, man. The Nasdaq, good God, talking about flirtation with disaster. Are you screwed? Are you screwed? You held. You held for sure. So I'm gonna get rid of these fibs. Okay, the good old gap fill right there. Today actually was regarded as resistance. The old supports that were regarding the gap fill as supports are now resistance. So you didn't do anything really good today. I mean, congrats on not collapsing and crashing. But if we're talking about what the buyers and sellers did, that's a bearish back test today. I hope tomorrow you just break through it like it was a hot knife through butter. That'd be amazing. But that's reality. That occurred today. Nothing really bullish about this green candle today. It's actually more so a form of confirmation to bears, unfortunately. But God, man, remember, I hope it breaks it. I hope we go to $1 trillion and everyone's rich and it's amazing. But that's just hope, and it's baseless. This is real, right? Support resistance, buyers, sellers. Okay. Russell 2000. There you go, man. You're trying to hold on. It's very close here. Now, it's not really out of the woods by any means. In actuality, all that the Russell 2000 did today is kind of like what the Nasdaq did, where there's this peak from September of 2018, the previous all-time high, very important level. What happened? For the first time ever, 1743, the 2018 high, was regarded as resistance and nothing more. That's it. So yes, I think, yeah, you double bottom here, man. Yeah, sure, maybe. Give me some more data. But for now, you're below 1743. I don't like it below 1743 at all. Break it and I'll start feeling better, and I can understand why. Straight up, straight down, straight up, straight down. Could go straight up again. But until you do that, get wrecked. Patience. Wait for price action to come in. Give us something we want. That's not really what I want yet, okay? Because you know what's below you, right? A lot of downside. Another 100 points. Okay. Goodness, man, I have a headache. Headache, exhausted. I can't get caught up on sleep. I can't get caught up on rest, man. I'm going hard in the paint, man. Goodness. Sorry. Let's switch it over to gold, which gold, hey, we're maybe getting something that we want. It's actually bullish engulfing candle on a second test of the harmonic near that inflection point, strategic entry level. It's not perfect and it could fail. Of course, it's below the 200-day moving average. You got to break that. But dudes, you got to understand, we're in an uptrend. You're uptrending for now. Until it changes, you're uptrending. within that uptrend is a bullish harmonic, a bull trend, bullish pattern presents itself. You hold support from history. You understand how important this is, chat. This is the quite possibly the lowest risk area you could ever get on gold up at these levels for upside, right? And below that, you want nothing to do with gold. Screw gold below 1793. I hate gold below 1793 because you're taking out your previous lows. You're not showing accumulation anymore. But if you're above it and you're showing me a type 1, a type 2, and now it is. This is very real possibility. I'm not kidding. This is exactly what we had not foreseen. We didn't predict it, but this is like what we want, what we covet as traders. We want the variables to come to us. We want the things that we covet to happen before we want to maybe take action. Those things are happening now. Right? Remember, it was like you're up here. It's like, man, if we could just sell off one more time, you know, maybe that hidden bearish divergence play. It did play out, that engulfing, but yeah, bearish engulfing still active, but now you bullishly engulfed, and I know it could fail. I understand it could be double topped. It's over. But when you're so close to that critical level and it does fail, and we are double topping, you take on almost very little losses, very few losses before it collapses to $1,500 or at least $1,675. Right? You get that. That's what traditional technical analysis is, man. It helps you assess your risk and make low risk, high reward opportunity plays. We have no idea this is going to play out. It could fail miserably and fall below 1793 and go to 1670, right? But it hasn't yet. But it's all setting up the way we want it to. And in history, when it sets up like this on other assets and other periods of time, eventually, moon. Predictable patterns and stuff, right? Historical research done. Scott Carney, you know. Wow. Yeah, the gold mine. Yeah, I understand. That news came out and did nothing really. It didn't really affect the price, and I don't really know what that kind of catalyst is gonna, if that's gonna catalyze a double top or not. You know, Sauron is still possibly on the cards, the Sauron double top, but not yet. It's not quite over yet because you keep making higher lows. You cannot ignore the higher lows. Even with that crazy news of like trillions of dollars found, you know, in Uganda, where that's insane, man, right? But we don't have to worry about that. It's not about being right or wrong. It's about knowing though where we don't want to own the asset and where we do and why we do. Okay. Is everyone having a good day today? Are we cool? You know, just I kind of black out when I go into these talks, so I'm kind of like back now. Thanks to the over 1,000 people still watching. If you're enjoying the coverage of all this market action, hit that like button, that bell, that sub. Thanks for being here. Really, really appreciate it. Y'all the best out there, man. I'm really grateful for this community. Okay. Arguably the best there ever was and ever will be, man. You guys and girls. Okay. This is the silver. See, silver. This is more. It could be double bottoming. It could be doing the wave structure stuff. The large wave, the two small waves, and maybe, just maybe, now about to start working on another large wave. The X. It's like kind of dragon stuff. Kind of like a dragon, if you use your imagination. Where is this the hump with the supply line, the spine of the dragon? I mean, maybe. It's kind of a little dubious here, right? Or a little weak. But just gotta think about it. Might be trying to confirm a bottom, at least for now, and it will rally and will probably end up making a lower high than whatever highs were previous, right? And then roll over again later. But it doesn't mean you can't catch relief rallies and downtrends, and that's kind of what things are looking like a little bit, right? Lumber futures, wow, what a rally, up 4.74%. I mean, a lot of assets, everything, you know, everything, dollar dumped, US dollar dumped. So that's the wrecking ball for the entire market, all markets. And when it dumps, favorable price action can occur for everything that is the numerator. You know, US dollar is the denominator of all this stuff. It says LBS1, but it's LBS1/USD or DXY, whatever. So it's to that. It's paired to that, and you always, it's going to be good stuff when the US dollar dumps for these assets. So there was that divergence that was still there. It's still developing. You're showing your first level of positive momentum on lumber futures since May 6th. So that could play out. I mean, easily could run up to 623, 650 from here. No problem, man. Did we quite get to an 886? I don't think so. Oh yeah, we did. Yeah, right? You exceeded the 886. I mean, it's like a shark. Is it not? Is it not like lumber futures finally get into an area where, of course, finally after crashing non-stop since March, yeah, dude, it could react and have a wave up, like the 5 wave, the 1 wave, 2, 3, 4 waves done, right? So a new wave could begin now, of course, dude. Yes. You're reacting at an 88% retrace, a pattern completion zone, pretty much of a shark, a little off on A and C, a little too perfect there, not high enough. But, you know, still though, it's an M shape. You don't have to call it a shark, just call it an M shape. All right? Lumber, it's just up today, like a lot, so 4% plus, you know. What about, nah, this one doesn't move. I think it like updates every week or something. This is egg futures. By the dozen. Beautiful, right? About to be at all-time highs. That's 2015, dude. Sorry. So after such a bad day yesterday on natural gas, recovery. Somewhat, right? Has it made lower lows yet? Unfortunately, no. Just because it dumps like that doesn't mean it's over. I mean, quadruple bearish divergence. Please, will the T be respected? That's insane. I mean, that's cycle-ending stuff, and all this negative Momo, and you don't, but you're not making lower lows yet. And you could think about this, like eventually, and not saying it's happening yet, but just think about in an uptrend, an asset doing something like this. This is normally the way it looks before reversals happen, but it comes down and makes an 886, right? In the uptrend, deep value perceived areas in an uptrend, and right, I mean, then it goes again. It goes, the trend continues, but it can't be that easy. It can't just go straight up wave structures, all that, right? So US oil. So it's a back test. You back tested 114.79. Look left. The peak from April of 2011, and that's it. There's nothing else there, dude. One straight line up to all-time highs of 147, straight down. So that's it. You are above that still, barely. And we are looking at just like a kind of a cipher here. I don't know if it's going to play out. It could go somewhat higher. It could go to the 886, easy. They do all the time, you know. It could go there might be a little bit more upside here. But you just got to understand, on US oil, for somebody looking for value, there is none. It's all premium. It's insane. It's like normal, like, you know, there's only been a couple months, a few months where US oil is at this price or above this price in all of history, right? So when that's the case, it's never an area to be taking fresh longs. It's normally an area where, I don't know, you can always take profit when you're up so much, right? How long have you been in this? So crazy uptrend's been going. So I hope it doesn't go to 147. I still think it could, easy, but still trying to be reasonable and understand there is a wave structure here, right? Where you could pull back, you know, to $100, make a higher low, bullish 5-0, and then run again. Eventually go with 147 later in the year. It doesn't have to be right now. Okay. Anyway. How about the foods? Gotta love it, man. Wheat futures not looking great right now. Not looking strong. I think it's kind of one top, a second top. I know it's not making lower lows yet, but dude, we did this last night, late, 3, 4, 5 a.m., right? This is how it ended for wheat last time, a double top like this, similar. And this is where you pull back. This is where the massive M shape, it's a wave structure, right? It comes down to 814, makes an 886, and then maybe pivots from there. Then you go to soybean futures, fantastic up thrust, still failed breakout. You could not break out. Good. Failed breakout. Never hit all-time highs either. So You just happen to be maybe at the highest risk area ever to be long. That's what that means. That's where you are. You're at the potential highest risk area ever to own this asset, because historically, when it's been at this level, it's only been for a few days. And look at the price action, cycle ending areas. I'm sorry, we had the same rally here. So I hope it collapses, but it does show, it's kind of showing that kind of coupled handle here. I mean, a little bit, you know, it's still not, nothing, the trend is not in jeopardy at all. Okay, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying it hasn't broken out of this structure yet. Well, that's good, because food costs, we don't want this stuff to keep going. How about corn? Corn is still just flirting and testing against that 2008 peak, 778. Can't break it yet. Good, I hope it never does. I hope it fails and collapses, and we can all afford corn together. We'll have a, you know, corn futures goes back down to 522. We'll have a big old corn party. All right, on me. You'll all get one shuck of corn down to 522. But till then, man, I can't afford it, right? Can't afford to give y'all corn at 774. Sorry. Thanks for the 420 likes.
Is that a joint?
And then just look at the last one. Let's look at a little bit of rice and rice futures. Okay, it's still elevated, still in an uptrend. Hasn't rolled over yet. It's parabolic pretty much. It's going parabolic. But, not much selling pressure. Sorry. I hate that. Okay, what about platinum? They got wrecked. What was the one I was looking at? I was looking at PL1. Let me, that's the one I was updating. Whoops. Still, I know, it's like this is the lowest risk area to long, but it's really struggling here. It's really having problems, and it could fail. You know, that's not really the price action I was looking to see. I didn't want to see weakness like that where you are confirming the support. Why are you not going? Why are you coming back?
Thanks for all your hard work past couple of days. Thought on the year-long UNI BTC supply line break. Could be epic for UNI USD. Think, man.
What's up, Fisha? Thanks to 15. Yeah, those are the people that don't hire their developers based on meritocracy. They do it based on identity, which, of course, why would I put money in something where that's real? I want the best developers on the project that I would ever put my money in, not just because they're something, because they identify as something. I want the best developers. They identify as the best developers in the world at what they do. That's the identity I want. Anyway, platinum's at support, but it's been here and it's not really catching too many bids yet. Pray for gold, I guess, so metals, you know, come behind it. But yeah. Anyway, all right, let's move on to some requests now. Thanks for the 1,100 people ish here. Bitcoin, we got 3 minutes and 21 seconds. Maybe I should just pause on those requests until we do the local on the 8s. We'll go back to Bitcoin. Let's do it early, local on the 8s. Local on the 6s or 7s, right? All right, back to Bitcoin. Near its highs of the day. Very close. Yeah, counterpoints. That candle though is nothing. That's not a hammer, really. I mean, it's too though. It could be considered maybe a pin bar or something, but normally you want more massive wicks than that. But it could be considered a pin bar, maybe. Man, Bitcoin always the Rubik's Cube, always the one that's like, hey, I'm not going to show the edge per se, but all the altcoins do, and Ethereum shows it, and it's like then Bitcoin rallies because they show the divergence, right? It's weird. It's happened before, you know. 2 minutes till the close. It will be the highest daily candle close since June 11th. Hype in the chat. Let's go, dude. Bear market over. Kappa.
Bruh.
Goodness. Sorry, man. I'm just trying to keep it together. I gotta get some good sleep at some point. Maybe the markets will calm down so I can, you know. MACD doesn't show divergence yet, unless you're talking about the signal lines, maybe. But it could if you start really pivoting. We got to get a few more days of fall through to start losing that negative momentum to be like, hey, we could do it, man. We could. Oh, and a big shout out to there were a bunch of new a handful of new patrons who joined in the past day, last 24 hours. I really appreciate the support, and that would be, for them, E&M, Wrath of the Shire, my God, Scary Hobbits, Jesse A, and Gavin N. Thank y'all for joining the Patreon. Really, really appreciate it. I have a Twitch account, but I don't really ever use it. It's literally like a backup plan in case sometimes weird, bad stuff happens here, and it's inexplicable. It's bots and algorithms, and I have to stream on Twitch. But I have it, and I tried it out. Again, I even retried restreaming. It kills you, man. The servers, YouTube algos know when you're restreaming, and they just recommend you less when that happens. So just sticking to YouTube, man. Half-life on caffeine, 6 hours. 6 hours after drinking caffeine, half of it's still in your system. 12 hours later, 1/4 is in your system. Interesting. Yikes, dude. All right, 13 seconds. Again, highest daily candle close since June 12th. We're going to be kings, man. 5, 4, 3, 2. Cue those Jesus chimes. We did it, man. Finally a green candle. Your first green candle since effing June 6th. God.
Bruh.
Kidding me, man? The streak has been broken. But I wouldn't, dude, you don't think of the wicks, man. Think about where you could go. God. So this is what I'm saying. You got to have follow through. If you follow through a couple more days, you will start developing bullish divergence on the MACD histogram. But that's going to require work and effort from bulls, from buyers. That they came in today, but was it because they came in, or was it was just the stock market did the same thing, kind of? This thing's been devastated, a lot worse than the index funds. We did it, man. All right, we're gonna be kings sooner or later. We're not sure, but what a bounce, man. On that total market cap, hitting that level like the Jesus, it's like clockwork, isn't it? It's like magic. But you got 4 days, man. You got 4 days to go. Who knows? It could be freaking 1.13 trillion or something by the end of the week if we catch some follow through here. All right, so let's go to Ethereum real quick. Same kind of situation here. It's kind of like a hammer, maybe. It's trying to hammer. I mean, this could be a short-term bottom. That looks a lot better than Bitcoin's. I think the wick's a lot more profound, a lot more. It's a larger wick, And certainly, if it catches any follow-through in the coming days, there will be classic bullish divergence on your second largest crypto out there. It has to catch follow through. It hasn't yet, so you gotta wait a little bit. But there could be hopium. There's finally maybe hopium. Was there any hopium this whole month until now? No, there was no hope. All of May too. It was just pain, despair, death. Maybe, just maybe, after collapsing so much so fast, near maybe $1,000, you start showing some divergence. And you get a short-term relief rally at least, man. You go back up 1420 or something, maybe even 1700. I mean, you can't be surprised, dude. These assets, they collapse like that. They lose that much value that fast. They can knee-jerk back up. All right, so pay attention. Finally got something on the board, on the table that could develop if we just catch a little bit more follow-through price action over the next few days. Okay. All right, so Bitcoin on the new day is up about $100, 0.5%. We need follow through. If you want 28.8 again, we got to get some follow through for that divergence, that bullish divergence to develop. Okay, so let's go to these requests, and I don't know, man, I'm just so wiped out. I've been live for about an hour now, so if you're enjoying this, live stream after all the craziness. Hit that like button, that bell, that sub. Thanks so much for being here. And be sure to join the Discord if you haven't. I'm spamming it. It's pinned to the chat. And you can go join up with a bunch of other like-minded individuals who care about traditional technical analysis and learning and memeing. Definitely memeing.
Our new friends are okay.
Oh, sorry, dude. My playlist.
I didn't mean that they weren't nice people. I just mean that I wouldn't say some things to them.
Sorry, dude. It's the Skyrim, or it's the Oblivion live channel. Well, it's like in real life Oblivion. On a pretty weird time right now. Sorry, dude. Dude's in a bubble bath. Sorry. Let me change that up. Oh, is the link invalid? We might need a new link. Yeah, invite. Yeah, we finally ran out of invites. Yeah, we've had a lot of new members joining the Discord. So let's get a new we'll get a new link in ASAP. Okay, just hang tight. Okay. Those requests, as we were. Melvin wanted IMTE. Oh man. What the heck? Dude. I mean, I guess I understand maybe a little bit why you're requesting this. Sure, certainly at a level where historically it's only reversed. That's very true, man. You can't argue with that. History tells us exactly why you're requesting this, you know. It could start diverging. Could start showing bullish divergence if it bottoms out here. And it's hard to target where it would go, though, right? I mean, it's all over the place, you know. It could be stuck forever. I mean, God, it could take a long time. I guess if you're holding this, if you would buy this at this level, 189 to 267, you know, you'd be getting a stop loss around, you know, below 189 somewhere. But I just, looking at some times in history, when you hit it, where'd you go? Straight up, down, up, you know? And you can see resistance, 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 resistance. That's a key. 527 is a key level there. Above that, though, you got the first peak ever from 2017. Those are two targets. If one was going to try to take a shot on IMTE down at this lower risk area, who knows how long it would take you to get 527. Now that'd be your targets, 527, 971. Melvin, if you wanted to try, if the divergence started playing out, you just want to take your shot here. It seems like it's inevitable. It will happen no matter what. You'll start showing bullish divergence. So it's like you want to front run it, just taking, you know, layering in between now and 189, and then like having to stop somewhere, you know, lower than that marginally, because that would be all-time lows. Okay, and then you would, what's the upside potential anywhere? You know, say it rally from here tomorrow, 120% upside to 296 to 300% upside on this asset. Interesting. Interesting stuff here. Thanks, dude. Next ones. Man, you know, BBIG here. Kind of hard to, I mean, it's not at the lowest risk area, obviously, right? 133 to 168 is your best area. Unfortunately, what's happening here is like, you know, you had your crazy buying climax lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, same high that's lower high than previous highs, and you're selling off. And man, I'm really thinking that it would be best to wait for 168 if you were lucky enough to get there. That would certainly be the low risk area. Now, if you ever got above 220 again, interesting, right? Interesting because of like what it does above 220, but you're below it. So normally below 220, I get it, man. There's like another level where it just holds here at 196. Sure, but not most of the time. Most of the time below 220, at least in recent and not recent history, you know, back in 2019, it would go straight down to 168 every single time, no matter what, right? So I just don't know how strong of a support it's going to be at 195. I think you'd have a better, it would be a better lower risk area at 168 to 133 than here. Okay, because like what happens if you go long here and it starts rolling over and goes to 168 and you get stomped out, you take on those losses that aren't much, but you still take them on, you get out of your position, and then it starts bouncing at 168 and goes right back up to where you entered at. And it's like, well, I mean, these levels here, probably it's more prudent, you know, maybe. Doesn't mean it can't rally here, you know. Don't really like the RSI, the way it looks. It's not really set up good. It's not like showing divergence or anything right now on either oscillator. Could a mod, you know, in mods, Julia, is Julia out there? Is she in here? Let me make like a specific type of Zachary Batson. I'm talking about making a new Discord invite link. Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna get y'all a new Discord link for sure. Okay, there's your BBIG, Justin. All right, let's go to Uni. All right, Uniswap. My God, man. Sure, it might be doing stuff technically. It's up 0.11%. To me, the way I'm looking at it, really, I look at it like this. I don't look at it like, I mean, I get it. There maybe is some sort of supply line that could be getting broken, but are you trying to tell me this is not a very good look? You know, this isn't a valid way to interpret to the downtrend for Uniswap, where you got, I mean, the top two peaks up here, and then you got one on the bottom. And if you just did 1 and 2 and 3 as early as November, and you had and you left it alone, look how respected the downsloping support was. You know, I mean, so just because you're, I think you're in a, this just reminds me of 2018 so much, man. All these coins just making lower highs, lower lows forever. And yes, they'll rally, but they're still awful. Like, it's below 449. Dude, if it breaks 449, it could go to $7 based on history, but it's not. And yes, it is showing divergence like everything else. Yes. Trying to anyway, right? Like zooming in here in the downtrend from the low to the lower low, you're showing the same divergence. And it could be on both oscillators if we get a little bit more follow through, which we don't have follow through yet. Okay, so this could all be bullcrap because it's so early. It's almost too close to call that divergence is happening. But if we catch some follow through, the divergence would certainly be in development, and that would be great. That would be, sellers are exhausted finally on a second low, and yes, a larger wave up could happen. It's going to turn into a lower high than previous highs and collapse again, but it could go up a lot, you know, but it's not above 449 either. It's below it. That's also crap. And again, you know exactly what you're getting. You have a very woke development team, so why would you even care about Uniswap, man? I'm just saying, you could own anything. Why are you going to own an asset that doesn't get the best developers? They get developers based on their identity, not their merit. Oh, is this I mean, whatever. Fish at, well, Uni to BTC. Oh, is it gonna outperform Bitcoin? Who cares, man? I mean, that's great, dude. I just think better assets out there, dude. That was the last request. So certainly this is finally a stream that's not insane, where I'm, you know, long extending the duration of me being live. so that might be good for my health to be able to just relax and get some dinner and call it early for maybe some crazy stuff tomorrow, because you are in the crazy world now on Bitcoin. You're not at support. You bounced virtually off of support, kind of. I mean, buyers front ran that, but just what can happen in between, just like, okay, once you developed and created for the first time in January 2021, just understand the price action correlation between 30K and 40K, almost straight up, straight down every effing time until, you know, January and February of this year. So just understand the same type of behavior can occur where you can do the same thing. Straight up, straight down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, right? It could do up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, make you lose your mind and still be in a bear trend. Okay, I'm just saying. Divergence implies the same thing. Divergence can be on other oscillators too. Stochastic RSI, you know, a lot of other things, right? I mean, even volume can diverge, but it normally just signifies forms of exhaustion. If it's bullish divergence, that means the sellers are exhausted potentially. If it's bearish divergence, the buyers are exhausted potentially. So having divergence on multiple oscillators, I think, is optimum. Having it on one is okay, and it can play out, and it does. But when you have it on two, that's the dream. That's what you're, right? You're trying to present an argument when you're trying to go long on something.
NXT on LSE, short to 4,000.
What's up, G-Dog? Thanks, dude. I don't know. We'll look at it right now. Right? You're just trying to, as an analyst and trader, you're trying to develop the strongest formal argument based on technical analysis. So if you can have bullish divergence on a bunch of oscillators versus one, I think it strengthens your argument marginally. If it's all happening at a support, holy crap. Traditional assets of the volumes diverging too. That's great. Oh my god, a Bulkowski pattern? What? Anyway, yeah, let's look at that. Not really sure about this one. It doesn't look like it's done at all. I don't think this thing's done selling off at all. Short to 4,000, and my man, you know, I don't like it and you don't like it, and that's great. Yeah, it's terrible. Like, easy short, right? And now, is it easy? It's bear flagging for sure, but I can't say easy because it's like this very critical peak from 2018 has been violated so many times. But the good news is you've just continuously violated it like that, and I mean, it's like that. Yeah, below 6,200. Yeah, 4K. Straight up, straight down, straight up, down, up. Why not down again? It would. It could. It probably will. So yeah, man. I mean, for sure. That's great. Great look right there. I love NXT on the London Stock Exchange for a short where it is now below 6,200. I love it. Great request, man. Extremely good request. Wonderful. Very good. This is the London Stock Exchange, Dylan, man. Okay. And yeah, it is very, now that's one problem. It is less than 1 million volume, and that sucks. But again, this show is heavily education centric. So does it matter if you can or can't short NXT here? Not really, because you're here to sharpen your sword as a trader. Because the more you are surrounded by this stuff where, all right, your argument's being presented very well for a short here because you have dumped, you're bearishly consolidating for many months now, since February. You're below a key level, very, very key level. And we know the downside potential is almost unlimited. It's very high. I mean, the downside potential in this asset from the breakdown, 35 to 42% downside. So again, if you can't short it, people are getting value watching this because this is universal. This is like math. You can apply this to all charts, right? The same stuff I'm doing right here on this asset, we do all the time on crypto. We do it in commodities. We do it in equities. Doesn't matter. It's universal. And so I think the value you're getting from me analyzing this, right, it's there. It's evident. So you can apply this to anything. So anyway, right. Right, Tron. We just went to Tron University. It only took us 5 days to graduate. Tron was extremely educational. Whether you shorted it or not, you understood and you learned something. Because I posted that trade setup live on stream and presented my argument on why it was low risk for short, and it already hit target. So this is just another form of that. Trying to help you, the viewer, hone your skills. Whether you know what you're doing, or you're looking for opportunity, or whatever, or you don't know, you're new, you're green. We're all in different places on the long journey of TA and trading. Okay, different places, and so it's up to the people that are further down that journey to help those that are beginning. And that's what it's about, man. Life is about when you learn something. It is your obligation as a human, a good human, to do everything you can to teach others what you've learned. Okay. Thank God for YouTube and being able to massively help people. Before internet, I wouldn't be able to do this. I'd have to go to a classroom or meet people in person. Dude, this is revolutionary stuff. E-learning. This is what the internet was really made for. This type of stream, Anyway. Okay, so severe thunderstorm warning for me over here. Gonna get out of here. I know it's not a 4-hour stream. I know, pathetic me, right? What a scrub. But hour and 20 minutes. I'm tired. I can't get rested, man. I keep trying. This is just a week where you leave it all out on the field and you can rest next week, So invest in yourself, all right? Apply yourself, learn this stuff, and be self-sufficient. And then just come back for the memes once you learn. That's what a lot of people do. Memes and, right, this community is like a hive mind. We're looking for the same things taught here, everywhere, all together. Some of the most legendary trade setups have come from the things I've taught others. And then they applied themselves, they invested in themselves, and then they requested something that the variables that have been taught, right, here, and we found it, and then it was a trade setup. We posted it live on stream or something, and then it goes insane and goes up 100% or something wild, right? So that's what it's about. Stick around. Let me get that. Get nothing. I'm just gonna have to post this link. Okay, I'm sorry. It's so weird. I'm gonna do like this one. Okay. I'm just gonna do this one for like the day, and then we'll get a new one tomorrow. This will be just for people for today. I don't know why it's saying meme of the month. It's so weird. It takes you to meme of the month. What the? All right, here you go, chat. This is the link. It will expire in 24 hours. Has limited uses, so get in while you can, because you won't have an invite till tomorrow. All right, there it is. If you tell people to buy something with all caps without a reason, you're just gonna get banned, dude. Don't shill. That's literal textbook shilling. All right, so I appreciate the likes, love, support, contributions, everything in between. Y'all are amazing. I freaking love y'all. This is the best community out there, and it's so fun. charts are so fun. I don't know. I'm obsessed with them. I don't know why, but hopefully if you keep watching me, you understand why I love them. They're almost like magic. So I'll be back. Until next time, respect the TA.